From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2495, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. Our top story takes us to Texas, where the cellular service provider that's seeking use of ham frequencies to assist its future satellites has announced it's starting to plan its launches.
AST Space Mobile, which has asked the FCC for permission to use amateur radio frequencies for a planned constellation of satellites providing cellular-based broadband service, has announced it expects to have launched between 45 and 60 satellites by next year. In its second quarter earnings report this month, the Texas company said that it plans satellite deployments every 1 or 2 months into 2026 and expects to begin providing service in the United States by the end of this year. In the first quarter of next year, the company hopes to begin rolling out service as well in Canada, the UK, and Japan. In 2 separate deals pending, the company is planning to acquire use of portions of the S-band and L-band spectrum for global delivery of its services. AST Space Mobile, which is considered a rival to SpaceX, was recently approved to use the amateur radio band on an experimental basis for a low Earth orbit satellite, a prototype known as FM-1. It was assigned the call sign WP2XRX, which is valid through the 1st of July, 2027. The company plans to use the 70-centimeter amateur frequencies to conduct telemetry, tracking, and telecommand between ground stations and its satellites. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
A rare DX activation in the sub-Antarctic region is going to involve young amateurs in core roles.
The planned de-expedition for South Georgia Island in March of 2027 isn't just about activating one of the rarest and more challenging sites for portable amateur radio. A central focus for the team will be its role in mentoring the young radio amateurs who will be accompanying the more experienced operators to the sub-Antarctic island. The team, using the call sign VP0SG, is giving these youngsters top priority. Project team leader Rune, LA7THA, told Newsline in an email that 1 or 2 licensed young operators are expected to be a part of the operations on the island. He said, quote, "They'll be involved in every phase of the expedition, from setup and daily operations to teardown, working alongside veteran de-expeditioners in challenging real-world conditions," end quote. The de-expedition fulfills the mission of the Norway-based amateur radio de-expeditions, which devotes itself to giving hams around the world a chance to contact remote parts of the globe. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
With the Huntsville Ham Fest barely 1 week behind us, organizers of next year's Hamcation in Orlando, Florida, are asking attendees to think ahead about the event.
Nominations are now open for awards to be presented at Hamcation early next year, and one of the 3 honors will be making its debut, the Amateur Radio Hero of the Year. This honor was created to recognize the radio operator whose selfless and extraordinary actions provided exemplary public service in times of crisis, whether during a natural disaster or in some other critical or emergency scenario. Nominations are also being accepted on the Hamcation website for 2 other annual awards, Gordon West Ambassador of the Year and Carol Perry Educator of the Year. Think of the amateurs you know and admire anywhere in the world and what they have brought to the community. Then visit hamcation.com/award to get them in the running. Hamcation, which is taking place on the 13th through the 15th of February, is a convention for the ARRL's Southeastern Division. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, Jack Parker, W8ISH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.